You haven't really tried Korean food until you've tasted it in South Korea's capital city. Welcome to MojoTravels, and today we're counting down our picks for the must-try dishes in Seoul. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to MojoTravels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at some of the city's most popular and mouth-watering dishes. These are some of the most iconic preparations in the city, but we're really just scratching the surface of what Seoul's culinary scene has to offer. So don't hesitate to get even more adventurous when you're actually there. Bibimbap. This is one of the Korean dishes to have found the greatest popularity in North American cities. Why? Because it's healthy and oh so versatile. Bibimbap breaks down into bibim, which literally means a mixture of different ingredients, and bap, the word for rice. Traditionally, this rice bowl is served with cucumber, radish, mushrooms, seaweed, spinach, and bean sprouts, among other ingredients, but every cook puts their own spin on it. A protein is then typically added to the top, like tofu, chicken, seafood, or beef. In Seoul, in keeping with the South Korean preparations, there will almost certainly be sesame seeds and oil added, as well as the all-important red pepper paste, gochujang. A fried egg is another common addition, making this one hearty meal that delivers both in terms of flavor and texture. Tteok-bokki. Unlike our previous entry, this particular dish is likely to be a new one to many Western palates. In Seoul, however, it's easily one of the most popular street foods. At a glance, it might look a little like sausages, but those are technically cylindrical rice cakes. Just not rice cakes like Western eaters are accustomed to. They're actually closer to Italian gnocchi or Polish kopitka dumplings. In terms of the preparation style, there are a number of ways to serve the dish, but in Seoul, you'll most commonly find the rice cakes swimming in a spicy, sweet red sauce, in the good company of scallions, fish cakes, and egg. Just be careful because Seoul street food vendors like to serve it extra spicy. Kimbap. Kimbap is often mistaken for sushi. And to be fair, this dish is working with many of the same elements as the Japanese delicacy. But try to approach it with a fresh palate and open mind because the flavor profile is notably different. And thinking of it simply as Korean sushi, as many people do, is setting yourself up for disappointment. Also spelled kimbap with a G instead of a K, this dish consists of rice wrapped in seaweed paper, kim. But instead of raw fish, kimbap is usually filled with cooked meat or strips of omelet, along with some vegetables. Other kimbap filling you wouldn't typically see in sushi includes, well, cheese, ham, and canned tuna. And kimbap is inherently cheap, a quick and easy meal for people on the go or to be served at picnics. Chikin, Korean fried chicken. The southern United States might be the first place that comes to mind when you think of fried chicken done to perfection, but we'd like to submit Korean fried chicken for your consideration, because it is ever finger-looking good. What makes Korean fried chicken, also referred to simply as chikin, spelled C-H-I-K-I-N, is its divinely crispy breading, which is a result of it being double fried. The breading is notably lighter than Western fried chicken. You can get Korean chicken served plain, like in the United States, but it's also very popular to have it covered in a sweet and spicy sauce after it comes out of the fryer, a preparation style known as yangyang. And yes, the term Korean fried chicken does abbreviate to KFC, which is pretty funny in its own right. For the classic pairing of Korean fried chicken and beer, ask for chimek. Bulgogi. Quick to prepare, easy to eat, and delicious, Bulgogi is one of Korea's greatest gifts to foodies around the world. The dish is straightforward. Thinly sliced strips of beef that are marinated and then quickly grilled or pan-fried, though the former preparation method is far more common. As for the marinade, it usually consists of soy sauce, garlic, sesame oil, ginger, and scallions. As with most popular dishes in Seoul, each vendor or restaurant is going to give it their own unique spin. It's commonly served with a side of lettuce in which to wrap the meat, or rice. In a sit-down restaurant setting, bulgogi will often be presented with a variety of sides, but more on that in a bit. Tteok. We're focusing primarily on savory dishes today, but Seoul is not without its sweet treats. Tteok is a dough-based dessert that feels like a cross between pancakes and donuts. They are typically served with various sweet additions like cinnamon, sugar, nuts, and other popular spreads or sauces. Though these add-ons are sometimes treated as toppings, more often than not, tteok is filled, making for a delightfully satisfying contrast between soft filling and crispy exterior. They are usually cooked on a griddle, but they can also be fried, resulting in a puffier finished product. This is the sort of dish that we recommend trying from a few different sources while exploring Seoul, as there is a lot of variety, including some with savory fillings. Gogigui, Korean barbecue. Technically, this is more of a preparation style and culinary experience than a dish per se. Bulgogi, which we discussed earlier, is actually the most popular type of meat to be included in a Korean barbecue experience. But considering how emblematic Gogigui is of Seoul's culinary landscape, we couldn't bring ourselves to leave it off the list. The experience is a DIY one. Diners sit around a tabletop grill and are provided with a variety of meats and vegetables, as well as a number of pickled, cooked, and fresh sides, collectively referred to as banchan. Rice and kimchi are almost always served. In addition to bulgogi, the meat options offered usually include pork, chicken, and beef short ribs. The whole experience is just a whole lot of delicious fun. Japchae. Noodles aren't typically thought of as light fare, but tangmyeon isn't your typical wheat-based noodle. Also known as glass noodles or cellophane noodles, tangmyeon noodles are super thin and translucent, requiring very little time to cook. They're made from sweet potato starch. Once they're cooked, they're simply dressed with sesame oil and soy sauce and tossed with a variety of stir-fried vegetables. And that's magnificently chewy japchae. Culturally, it's a mainstay at big gatherings like weddings, birthdays, and other such holiday meals. Though it can and often is eaten on its own as a snack or light meal, it also frequently features in the banchan or side dishes of Korean barbecue. Samgye-tang. They say that chicken soup is good for the soul, but few iterations hit the spot or warm you up quite as effectively as Samgye-tang, Korean ginseng chicken soup. Though it might go against your natural inclination, and despite being a warm dish, Samgye-tang is traditionally served and consumed on the hottest days of the year, in keeping with the principle of iol-chiol, which basically means to combat heat with heat. But don't worry, you can get it year-round due to its popularity. In terms of preparation, a whole young chicken is cleaned and then stuffed with garlic, ginseng, rice, and jujube, a type of red date, and then simmered for hours. Simple but delectable. Budae-jjigae. If you're traveling on a budget in Seoul and looking for a hearty meal that will fill you up for a whole day, look no further than Budae-jjigae. Budae-jjigae, which translates to army stew, is exactly the sort of dish that you'd want to serve to anyone in need of sustenance. Like the locals living around army bases after the Korean War, who developed the recipe using surplus army-based supplies. What started as a stir-fry dish born of necessity has since evolved into a hugely popular stew that can be jam-packed with a wide variety of ingredients. These include, but are not limited to, Korean sausage, spam, tofu, pork, instant ramen noodles, macaroni, rice cakes, like those used in tteok-bokki, processed cheese, scallions, garlic, chili peppers, mushrooms, and more. Budae-jjigae packs a punch with every bite and is utterly unique. Happy eating! Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MojoTravels, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.